This is Papa Brad. Welcome to the Evercadians, a show for fans of the Evercade.
Brad, man, since we were last on the show, you are now a proud owner of an Evercade VS Founders Edition.
I know, I'm an Evercadian now.
Wow, welcome to the club.
Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Evercadians number one.
Number
What's going
one,
on,
baby.
everyone?
So we're gonna start right off. We're gonna jump right into it. We're not gonna waste any time. First topic: why the Evercade? And I'll go first, and then we'll just go around the horn. There's a lot of things that the Evercade is doing right, and one of the things that I like is I've always liked physical media. I've always been into Atari and collecting cartridges, and I just like the moves they're making, and I like that they have curated collections of games, and I'm excited to get into Evercade. And that's kind of I also like that they're coming out with an arcade, which is pretty cool, I think. How about you, Brooklyn? Tell me
why Evercade for me, Brad?
Why the Evercade?
Why? So many people ask why, and I can
why?
answer why. Some of the things that you said, Brad, physical media. It's so great because we're very familiar with a lot of these games already. Mm-hmm. And you always hear, well, you can play these games anywhere. So why do you want to play them on Evercade? Number one, physically holding that cartridge in your hand, having a booklet inside, and seeing like some of your favorite classic retro arcade games like physically in your hand, where it would be so hard to get some of these games on a physical cartridge, or you'd be spending so much money to do that. Just being able to acquire stuff like that, and like you said, curated collections. You may buy a cartridge because you love a few games on it, but they kind of group games together that make sense, and you always find a hidden gem that you would have never known about. Another thing,
discover games that you would have never played, right? Let's let erbwars have a chance to speak.
I'll let Herb go 1 second. One last thing, Brad.
Yeah.
Another thing, even though you can play these games in a million places, I find myself playing it more on the Evercade because I'm not sitting there for 2 hours sifting through a random list of games. I have the stuff,
limited selection,
1 or 2 cartridges, depending on what I'm playing on, right in front of me. And I spend more time enjoying the games than flipping through thousands of them to figure out what I want to play.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of locked into that game list. Okay, why the Evercade? Why should people be interested in the Evercade or Wars?
Well, first off, it's very affordable. The cartridges range from $20. The $25 ones are the new ones coming out. There's games on there that you don't normally see on other collections. Yes, you can get them in other spots, but you can own them physically. A lot of these homebrew games, never released Atari games, have come to the Evercade, and it's just a great way to discover some games that aren't so popular on this cool little niche system. And it's really cool how it's blown up because I've been here since the beginning, and it seems the past year or so it's really been blowing up, and I really love seeing that.
Okay, awesome. For me, it's also about the fun of collecting. I mean, it's a limited amount of things you can collect, and
For sure.
I think the collectability of it is really interesting, and all the things that we were talking about, physical media, and I've been watching Evercade for a long time and thinking about kind of jumping in, and I feel like now's the right time because I like, I mean, we have Toplin 3 coming. I love Toplin, so like I feel like they're bringing the kind of things that I want to play.
Now that's an example, Brad. Now you and I and Herb definitely were all very familiar with every single game.
Every game
that's coming out on the
Toplin
like 3 cartridge, but you still have that excitement for it.
Yeah, but it's going to be a whole new group of people that have never played these games before, and that's the exciting part. I think they are curating really good lists of games. So that was the first topic, just why the Evercade. And this channel will only be Evercade. There'll be nothing else on this channel but Evercade content. And the show will probably be every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe as long as a month, but it's not going to be like a weekly show. But we wanted to just do an Evercade only channel because we're interested in it. But we feel like we had enough content to put on one channel, didn't we, Brooklyn?
Yeah, and I could say also, like, not to confuse anybody, the show is, I said 3, it's actually streaming on 4 channels tonight.
Yeah.
But eventually once
Monetize, it will go to just this
the
channel.
Evercadians channel starts getting more subscribers, this will eventually just be
The only
exclusive
place
to
to
that
watch
channel.
it. Yeah. But for right now, we're just trying to make sure that people actually get to see the show. And so we're just multi-streaming it. The Evercade Alpha. Okay, we'll start with the positives. What are some positives that you all feel about the new Alpha? I know I ordered one. I think everyone here has ordered one. I think one person might have ordered two.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you ordered two. Who ordered two? So I think we'll let Herb start us off. Tell me what are some positives.
The positive is we're all collectors. We're into this hobby. They're desktop. They're not as big. They don't take up as much room, and they come with the Sanwa. Well, if you got the what is it, the alpha or the upgraded
deluxe
versions,
yeah,
the deluxe
from
versions,
stock.
they came with the Sanwa controls, and the exclusive games was really the reason I picked them up. And because I'm a huge collector and I want to have the complete collection, that's why I had to go with both. That's why I picked it
awesome.
up.
I want to read this comment here from Ian Hobbies. He said, Evercade, because we are reliving, purchasing, and collecting these awesome retro games in the era of the internet and loving the engagement with like-minded folks. That's one thing I want to say I really love about it. It's the simplicity of you just put a cartridge in, it works. It's like going back to, for me, all the way back to like almost the Atari. I mean, I know when I put that cartridge in, it's going to work. And that's exciting for me.
Another thing, Brad, you can enjoy it at home.
Does not need to be connected to the internet to work,
Yeah, you kick back, enjoy it at home on your big TV. If you're on the go, you got your handheld, you can bring it with you. Yeah. If you don't want to bring your handheld, you want to just have something small to shove in your pocket. There you go. You got your Hyper Mega tech. You can bring that with you. So there's so many ways to enjoy the game.
100%. It's also the affordability, like erbwars was saying. Basically, I just bought the original Evercade because it was only like $6 more than getting the cartridges. So I got the original Evercade as well. But I mean, it's not that something that's real expensive to collect. It's not really cost prohibitive. But and the thing is, since you're buying the cartridges, you're gonna go slower, and you're gonna play each cartridge and check out some games. You're gonna find some games you've never seen before. I know there's all kind of games, and I think it's kind of cool because aren't they from England? They from the UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like some of the selections of stuff are just stuff I've never heard of. Because of course we're from the United States, so I think some of the picks are kind of cool.
Yeah, like the Oliver Twins collection. That's a perfect example of games that were very renowned in European countries. We didn't know as much about them, so it's great to be introduced to those. And that's a cartridge that I'm really enjoying. It's a difficult cartridge at this point to find at a reasonable price, but it's stacked with those Dizzy games. So it was a great introduction to that series.
Yeah, and and the UI is really great too. It's very slick. It's very streamlined. It reminds me of Netflix, because it's very clean. To take the time says, agreed on playing games I wouldn't have tried. Radio Latoy says you appreciate the game more. And choice paralysis is real, 100%, Jason. Like my iArcade, I probably have over 1,000 games on it easily. And it's just so much choice. Like when you can literally play everything, sometimes it's too much, it's too overwhelming, and that's why I collect stuff like Ataris, because I can if I want to simplify things, I can just put in a cartridge and, but I've always enjoyed collecting things, whether it was, comic books. I've been through so many phases. There's so many things I've collected, but I like the collectability. To me, that's one of the exciting things. Like some people are like, some of these cartridges are expensive, but I think that's cool. That's one of the cool things about the hobby is that you're collecting, and maybe you're one of those lucky people. Maybe you bought 3 Oliver Twins, it's a collectible item.
I don't think the cartridges were ever meant to be as expensive as some of them are getting. Going back to Herb's point from early on is that, Herb Wars and I have been into Evercade pretty much since the start. Herb Wars even before me.
Now you have a
So
complete
so
collection. You
we
have all the cartridges,
so we
right?
those
So does
cartridges were
Herbivores.
readily available. As it started to gain popularity and some of the cartridges weren't available anymore and people want to get a full collection, that's where you get people online that could pretty much price them however they want, because people out there are going to buy them. They're just, at this point, some of them are becoming really difficult to find. If you check every day, you do see some people will eventually get lucky and maybe be able to find some of the difficult cartridges to
I
get
think
at a reasonable price.
it's not really that different from like collecting Nintendo. There's certain cartridges that are grails, right? I was it Little Samson is one of the ones on the NES. It's like really because it's just hard to find. Maybe they didn't print enough, but most of the cartridges are still readily available and affordable. It's just a small group of them that are what they call it legacy when they're not making them anymore.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't even be surprised if you start seeing the OG handheld and like the VS, the original version, start shooting up in price within the next year.
They already are.
They're moving on to the VSR and the EXPR.
Yeah. Well, Rob Cat says Evercade is also great for hitting different categories for people like different types of games, arcade games, puzzles, platformer, shmups, and fighting games. Like for me, like when I saw that they had 2 Toapling collections already, like I love shmups. So like, that now they're getting they just announced a 3rd, which I think is great. But that's what I'm looking forward to. Finding some games that I haven't played before that are kind of the hidden gems. So.
Well, the same with the indie games that they bring to the console. They get buried on Steam. You bring it to something like the Evercade, and it really spotlights some of these games that you might not have seen through a library like Steam.
Yeah, half these games you would never even find them. So you put your cartridge in, you flip through, eventually you try everything. You may find some that you don't like, but I've never found a cartridge where the whole thing was a bust for me. Right? I've always gotten enjoyment out of every cartridge I played.
Okay. So let me go to our next topic. Let's see what the next topic was. Second. Okay, we're going to start at the basics. Papa Brad is new to the Evercade. I'm not as new as I was when I started, but let's start with the basics. Okay, there are 3 different types of cartridges, right, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
What are the 3 colors? Can you tell me?
So
tell
you
me
have
about
like
the red. What's the red?
Well, you had the kind of like maroon. Those would be the console collection.
See how it's red?
Console collection.
Okay, so all these are red, and tell me about the numbering. Is that when they were released?
So each collection has numbers. So it doesn't, depending on the color of the cartridge, you have numbered collections for that specific category.
Okay.
It does not necessarily mean in the order that it came out, because you might have a purple cartridge that came out, but
we're talking about red. Brooklyn, you're taking over. We're talking about red. Just tell me about the red. So these are all console games, right?
All console games.
Okay. So then we're going to pull, this is the purple cartridge. And these are all arcade games.
Yes.
Now the cool thing about the purple ones, there's only 10 of them. So immediately I collected all 10. That was
12 now coming.
Well, 2 coming, but what I'm saying is like currently today, if you wanted to collect them all, you're basically looking to get 10 cartridges. And it didn't take me no time, and I had the group of 10.
And a lot of those used to come packed in when you bought the system.
Yeah.
When I bought my original VS, it came with 4 cartridges. When I got my EXP, my limited edition, it came with 2 arcade cartridges.
Yeah. And the thing I found out, the numbers are different for each one. So like the 1 through 10 is all just arcade games, 1 through 10.
Yes.
And then the console games, I don't know how high it goes to, what the highest number is, but they're also numbered. And then ERBwars, do you have the tell us about the blue cartridges? So 3 colors: purple.
So this is the home
blue.
computer, the home computer line. The blue one.
Is that Commodore 64?
Yeah, this is the Commodore 64 Collection 3.
That's the latest on that.
Yeah, that's the latest. That's the Peggy version, just to make Brooklyn mad.
I like the
Okay.
Peggy versions.
Okay, what does that mean? Like, because people saying Peggy, what does that mean? Explain that to people that don't know. Like, if you were just coming in, I don't know what Peggy means. People are saying Peggy. I'm like, what is that? Is
That's
that
just a
someone that works
rating.
at? Is that someone that works at Evercade?
It's just
What's
the
Peggy?
rating system in European
Okay.
countries. Like here, we would have E for everybody, T for
Okay.
teen, M for
So
mature.
you're talking about like
ESRB.
this
Mhm.
green thing on there. No, you see it? Now that means it came from England, right? If it has the
Yeah.
green
Most of my
Yep.
cartridges have that because I get most of my stuff through Funstock.
front stock.
Because
Okay.
Funstock gets it to you like before anybody else, it seems.
And
anymore.
you'll notice the cartridge itself too even has like a green. If it came from Funstock or from the UK, it has the green logo on the cartridge, which is pretty neat. So I'm learning all this stuff, Brooklyn. I'm learning all this now. One of the things I really like about the cartridge, I just want to zoom in on a cartridge real quick. One thing I really like is like the cartridges themselves. Look how cool they make them. Like they have the brand, like Toplin, and then they have cool artwork. So, and this is printed on the cartridge. This is not a sticker, which is I think is pretty neat.
I would always get worried putting the cartridge into my consoles that it was going to peel the sticker off of the front. But if you look at it closely, it's actually recessed down. So they thought about that.
It's like inset,
so it doesn't rub.
Just a little bit. Yeah, so it doesn't rub. Okay. Ichabod says Peggy Bundy. No, the Peggy is the rating system. But you can tell on the cartridges because they have the green squares. And I guess it seems like all these titles, for the most part, that I've gotten. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the Duke Nukem one. It's probably a different rating, isn't it? Like this one
depends where you ordered it from.
Okay.
If you got it from Amazon, it might be ESRB, but if you got it from Funstock, it'll probably be Peggy.
Okay. So let's see.
In other words, Brad, it makes absolutely no difference, but
they play the same.
Maniacs like me and erbwars will possibly try to get two of them. Like I have two Oliver twins. I have North American and I have the Peggy.
So the completionist. Well, I mean, there's two different ones. But the thing that's funny is the cartridges, they're not region locked. So
it's exactly the same.
They're not region locked at all.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter whether it is the Peggy or the American cartridge. Elio says he tries to collect the American carts, but he does have some pegs. Okay. Welcome to the stream. Is that Gene Joke? Did I say that right? I hope so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome to the stream. So we're learning about Evercade. We got 3 different colors. We got purple, red, and blue, depending on what they are. Purple is arcade, red is console, and blue is computer. Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about the new carts. You want to watch a video first? We'll show one video, then we'll talk about all the games on it, what we think of the cartridge. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
I have the videos preloaded. Let me get the first one. We'll start with, Papa Brad's going to be gushing over this one. We know which one I'm going to start with.
Dude, I was so excited. Like, as soon as I saw that, I immediately messaged you.
I know. This is like my wheelhouse. Like, right away, I was like, I mean, this is why I'm getting into Evercade.
Peggy 7.
So that was obviously the Toplin collection. Favorite game in the list? Is everyone going to Batsugan? Everyone's going to probably say Batsugan.
You know what? I'm actually excited.
Final and last shmup of all time.
But I'm excited to just play the non-SP version, which is the one
cool
I always play.
Both.
Yeah, it is cool that they give you both.
Yeah, and I'm excited to play the non-SP version too, because we had the SP version on the iArcade, which is an upgraded version. But it'd be cool to have the original. And of course, my favorite game of all time, Truxton 2, is on.
Yeah, and
that's one of my
Truxton 2
favorite shmups. That is a legendary shmup.
Unlike
if you're into that genre,
unlike a lot of shoot 'em ups from the arcade, that is a long and punishing game. Like it just keeps going and going and going.
You remember? You were
did a full
playthrough
on my show,
all the way through.
I think Gox is going to be a new one for a lot of people. I mean, I've beaten Gox. That's a great one. It's a paddle game with enemies. It's almost like that Toe Plan style. It's like it has that shoot 'em up style, but it's a paddle game.
People are going to be blown away. I mean, like Outzone. Like every game on this cart is fire.
Yeah, Outzone is great.
We streamed Outzone together, didn't we, Brad?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Enabled online, and it's just I mean, I can't say enough. This is like the definition of a day one purchase, must buy. I mean,
this is probably the best cartridge.
Yeah, I mean, for the arcade collection, I mean, this is great. So that was pretty much the Toplan cartridge. Any other games you want to point out in the list?
They're all good. I mean, you can't go wrong with pretty much any of them on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's definitely.
And I just like that they have respect for Toplan and those legendary shoot 'em ups.
Yeah, and if you love shmups, it's the ultimate.
If it introduces it to a new generation of people that have never played these games before, you're in for a treat.
I think they purposely made them vertical because they're trying to sell that new grip that they're coming out with, and to play it on Tate, because this cartridge is going to go great with that grip when they introduce that. Yeah. I don't think it's out yet, but
yeah, that's the thing I like too. Like another thing, going back to why Evercade, choice, affordable. You got handhelds, multiple handhelds. They got the Verse console where you could play it on your TV, sit on the couch and play, and then they've got a little miniature arcade. I think it's pretty cool. I like that they're giving you a lot of choices.
Well, we have more choices, Brad, because we also have a Data East cartridge coming out, and another one.
I know. Let's check that one out next.
With even more games.
Ian Hobby says, I only play Batsugan on my Egret 2 Mini. Getting it on the Evercade will be such a treat. More folks can play Batsugan, the better. Yeah. And this is one of those games that nobody knows about, but after you've played it, it's great, It's the
bridge between retro and modern shoot 'em ups. It really was.
I feel like I spoke about that game so much on the iArcadians. I mean, I love that.
We're so familiar with these games. It's like we're already very familiar with them, but it's going to be a whole new audience playing them, which I think is going to be great. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is that was called the Toplan Arcade 3, and then we're going to look at Data East Arcade 2. Let's take a look at this list of games.
Peggy 12.
Okay, so that was the Data East selections. I mean, for me, the Edward Randy, the cliffhanger, I mean, that for me is the hidden gem. Like when people start playing that, they're going to be blown away.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just huge
It's
action
such an
pieces from start to
amazing
finish.
game. And I think like it's completely underappreciated. Like it's the definition of like a hidden gem. Like it, it's just great. You know, you have the battle with the whips on biplanes. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome. So
dare I say, Super Burger Time even better than the original Burger Time.
I love Super Burger Time, and you could play 2 players. You could play 2 players at once with Super Burger Time, which you couldn't do in Burger Time, right?
Yeah, the Western game they showed on there, I have it up on my arcade right now. We played that one. That's a difficult game, but I had a lot of fun playing that one.
It is. How about you? What are the standouts for you? I mean, for me,
Same as you guys. I mean, I remember playing that when it
they
came
don't
out
call
on
it
the
the cliffhanger,
arcade.
but the Edward Randy cliffhanger is the arcade classic that a lot of people don't even know about. Just like
that was a great game.
I could tell you one that's not a standout for me.
What's that?
Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory.
Yeah,
I can't stand that game, dude. That game is impossible.
It's just a really tough old school arcade game.
There's tough, and then there's just rage quit after 5 minutes. I can't even get past the first level on that, and I've tried multiple times. It's just insane.
Yeah. Let's see.
I like Crude Busters too.
Crude Busters is on there, yeah. Something that Evercade has not done yet should be considered send-in support. There are licenses out there for lots of value light gun games. No other consoles using this tech right now. Maybe.
That you have the USB plug-in in the front, so
yeah.
We found that, if you put the white border up, you can pretty much play send-in on anything.
On anything, yeah, because it scales automatically. The gun is smart; it scales to whatever that border is. Remember when we were playing Operation Wolf, and I had I could.
You were going dual screen. You were going from one screen to the other.
I would just switch to a totally different screen just to show how
it just
seamless
picked it up.
Incredible.
So it's just a matter of probably integrating that border into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there'd have to be some sort of firmware through send-in, but it could definitely work. I don't know if they have enough games out there to do that, or if it makes sense to them, because you have to think about it. Then they're saying, okay, if you're putting out a cartridge that's going to have light gun games on it, how many people are you excluding that don't have it?
Yeah.
Now, if they came out with their own peripheral, their own kind of Evercade light gun, maybe it would make more sense. So I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I did play Operation Wolf today on the Super Pocket, and surprisingly,
it's very playable. I know
it's very playable. Yeah,
very playable. I was surprised too when I played it. I thought there's no way you can play Operation Wolf on the Super Pocket, but that's
definitely obviously not as good as a light gun, but on that little tiny screen on the go, it was still a lot of fun.
Gene Joke says Trio the Punch is so bad it's good. Now that's one I haven't played.
I've never played that.
Once again, I'm surprised. There's an arcade game I have not played on there, so I think that's pretty cool. That'll be something new. But I like the list. I would say the Toplin for me is a little stronger as far as the games on it, but I think they're both good cartridges. I'm certainly going to pick them both up. Robcat says he's been looking for more Evercade coverage. Most of it's been overseas. I'm enjoying this. You guys actually get Evercade. You may well help more people discover the goodness of Evercade. And that's really all we want to do. Just, talk about the games. And the thing that's kind of cool about Evercade, it is kind of a slower, you don't have to do a weekly show necessarily, right? Because stuff comes out kind of slower. And we all have YouTube channels. So
I covered it on my show as well.
Yeah.
We cover a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, on the Friday Night Arcade Show. And I'm on a show, Arcade Talk. We all have other shows we do. And we do talk about Evercade a little bit, a tiny amount, but I really wanted to make a place where we could all just get together and just talk about Evercade and put content for Evercade if we wanted to. I got Gregory popping in. Good to see you, Gregory.
What's up, Greg?
We did not talk about the negatives of the Alpha. I'm trying to follow up my notes, and I realized we skipped that. Negatives of the Alpha for me. The main negative for me is it doesn't have HDMI out. That's my number one critique. Is what do you think is the negative? Like, the things I like about it is obviously, it's going to give people good arcade controls to play their games. Even the cheapest model will have good controls. They're talking about using SAMWA clones, like what iArcade did, and they're offering the SAMWA, the real stuff, for a little bit more. But as far as negatives, the only real negative I can think of is it doesn't have HDMI out. What do you got?
There's another one. I would say a missed opportunity is not being able to link two of them together. And so, like erbwars is going to have both. How great would that be to have it either back to back or side to side, and two people can link up and play play a game against each other in that way. I know you could do it by connecting in a controller, but that would be a great way to do it with the HDMI out.
Some people will buy two of them anyway. Some people will buy two of them,
The HDMI out is.
Would have put all the games on each one though. Like it would have been cool if you could have had a Mega Man and a Street Fighter and put them back to back, and then you could play the games versus each other on both of them.
Yeah, and on the HDMI out, that's kind of a miss, mostly also for like YouTubers, because we like to show off the products and we like to play them, compete against each other. So it's the best representation when you could just run it right into your capture card. It's better for when you're doing videos and stuff like that. However, I do understand why they don't have it. We are going to be able to play certain cartridges that we couldn't play on a VS or anything that does
like the
have an
Namco
HDMI.
card, right?
Now, they could have potentially did something where, if it's a game that is that they don't have the license to go through HDMI out, maybe those games would just turn that off. We've seen that done in the past.
Yeah. Like Sega did that with iArcade with their licenses.
But again, and also think of it as a business point of view. If you have the Alpha and it has two cartridge slots, it's got HDMI out, you're kind of like killing your business now for the VS.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, but the thing is, the more people you have playing, the more users you get playing, probably the more cartridges you're going to sell. So, I mean, I think it's kind of a mixed bag on that. What do you think, erbwars?
I think the only negative I could really think of might not be a popular opinion, but the fact that they're releasing both of them at the same time seems like they might have shot themselves in the foot.
Should have staggered them, done like maybe Street Fighter or Mega Man,
and then
for 6 months, then release another one 6 months down the road.
For sure. I mean, because they're not as cheap as the rest of their products. So I mean, they are used to serving like a cheaper base, So,
and that is a big thing. A lot of people get sticker shock. We don't, because we come from home arcade. We have, people that have not seen me before. I have an entire arcade room where I have all kind of arcades. So we come from home arcade. So like, I immediately thought, well, that's a reasonable price for what they're offering. I mean, they're giving you good controls. SAMWA clone buttons are real SAMWA buttons. They're giving me two cartridges. They're giving me a really good screen. And I like that it's small because it's pretty much portable. I mean, it's a small self-contained system that doesn't rely. It doesn't have to connect to the internet to turn on, it's like, there's something cool about these things that are more simplified, it's going back to a simpler time. To me, that is a strength of Evercade, not a weakness.
As far as also what erbwars says about them putting them both out at the same time. I think the deluxe, what it should have been, obviously SAMWA controls. That's a given. But the deluxe should not have been a Mega Man skin or the Street Fighter. It should have been an Alpha skin, and it should have had all of the games from both of them.
I agree.
In one, and been like a real special edition.
I mean, I would pay $30. I would pay $30 more bucks.
I would pay whatever more for that.
I mean, just
that
make it
awesome.
Go to 11. But I mean, it is the sticker shock. Like, you got to remember, like, they're hitting a much higher price range, and I think we're coming at it from, like I said, being in home arcade, so we see it as being very affordable for what you get. But probably in the UK, this is a pretty premium item for a lot of people. Apparently, from the feedback I've read, so I've been trying to follow it. Gene Joke has an interesting point. He says he doesn't know a staggered release might frustrate people if they bought the Mega Man, then 6 months later the Street Fighter one came out.
That's true. That's true.
What
That's
if
a good
they
point.
announced?
I
both
think
of
it
them?
give.
They
I don't
could have
think they.
announced both of them and then done a still had a time gap.
I think they're just giving people choices.
Mhm.
So a lot of us, because I just like the mix of the games on the Mega
Choices
Man,
are good.
and I'm not as big as just playing a bunch of Street Fighter games.
Mhm.
Obviously, Final Fight, I'd love to have that as well on the Alpha, but
That's really-
it gave me a choice. So I don't think they're out there expecting everyone to buy both of them, and I would not be surprised if these are not the last alphas that we see, because we don't know what's coming down the road.
We don't know what
kind
companies are
of
gonna work
licenses
with
they're
next.
getting.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we in the future start seeing some more alphas popping up with
Yeah.
different built-in games.
I mean, of course, we'd like to see like Konami or Sega, but we know from Home Arcade, those are really mega expensive licenses. So as much as we might want that to happen, I'm not sure if that will happen. I mean, it would be cool. Would you buy even like with the smaller ones? I think like Sega and Konami and probably SNK, right? Metal. Can you imagine if they had a Metal Slug,
That'd be, oh man,
That'd be cool.
like a red themed one? I mean, we're just speculating.
one that looks like a Neo
little
Geo.
tiny little red Neo Geo. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't?
Even though
have
you
to
can
have
already
that?
get that with the
can already get
MVSX, I still want that.
Yeah,
I think
we just
it-
keep buying
I
the
think it
same
is
thing
cool.
sometimes.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of outside the box though.
For
But-
sure.
So there's a lot of things they could do with it. As far as that,
I think the Alpha is great for all Evercade owners, even if you have zero intention of ever getting one. Because if you love to have these arcade collections, now there's a reason for Evercade to start pumping out more of them. So even if you're not going to get the Alpha, you could still enjoy all these great arcade collections that are probably going to be coming out. As you can see, we already got 2 more. And I think that that's a direct result of the Alpha coming out, because those cartridges are dropping alongside with the release of the Alpha. So we can expect to see a lot more arcade cartridges. We still have 4 more cartridges to be announced. Evercade put out a post that they're like, of 3 of them, people are going to get, a lot of people are going to be getting what they asked for. So what that is, we don't know. A lot of people ask for different things, but they did, like, one of them is going to be more, I think, of an out there type cartridge, like some of the stuff Evercade does. But out of the next 4, 3 of them are going to be stuff that the community has been asking for.
yeah, I like the indie cartridges. Like I've just opened those, and I'm really enjoying the indie collections they have. They have 3 different cartridges with indie games, and of course that's another reason. Like when we go back to the beginning of the show, why Evercade, why now? And one of the things I like is that they support independent game producers. The indie cartridges are great. Got a lot of good games on there. So. But
and like erbwars says, like, try finding some of these games in a physical form.
Yeah,
you get a whole cartridge full of them for $20. I see some of these games that do have a physical cartridge going for $60-$70 and up, just for the one game.
Donut Dodo.
Yeah, I picked up a physical of Donut Dodo.
Yeah, on the Switch.
That, see right there, like you could see, like Evercade knows, like, the good games out there.
Yeah,
we all knew about Donut Dodo since the day it came out. We knew how great that was.
Donut Dodo, get us a Circus Interstellar in the next indie.
That could happen. I don't see why that game is definitely.
I would highly recommend.
Great enough quality. I think the Evercade community would love that. Finding that game.
Yeah, it's like a combination of Doom and Berserk. Hey,
don't you think they could have put Donut Dodo on an arcade cartridge? I mean, it's on a That
It's a
is,
retro modern arcade game, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean,
that's the only way we knew how to play it, was on an arcade types, setup.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game is awesome.
but anyway, I do like that they're supporting, independent, great independent games, and it's a curated collection. Like you get the games on the cart, you give each game a try, and you're going to find some you really love. I think that's pretty cool. So, okay, the next thing, Brooklyn, should I give away a cartridge?
That sounds good, Brad. What do you got in store?
I'm going to give away a cartridge right now. If you
Good
would
thing
like to
Brad didn't
win it-
say, "Hey, Brooklyn, can you give away a cartridge?" Because I don't know how
this is
happy I would have been
Papa
about
Brad
that.
giving away. Let's see here.
But if Brad wants to give one away,
Yeah, I'm giving one away. It's still sealed. I'm giving away Indie Heroes 2. Brand new. Sealed.
nice.
And we're going to do it the fair way.
Disco
with-
Tapeworms on there.
Yes, it's got some good games on it, man. This
A lot
one's
of
still
great
sealed.
puzzle games on there.
And for our first show, we'll give out the Indie Heroes 2 cartridge. If you'd like to win the cartridge, I'm going to use a giveaway tool. Put hashtag Papa Brad with a space. I'll type it in the comments.
Erbwars, you can't enter.
I have them all. I'm
I
good.
know. You already have 10 copies.
Hashtag Papa Brad.
I have a feeling that Ettensoft might already be in talks.
Now here's the thing, Brad. Because I would love everyone who's watching to have an opportunity to win. Is this going to work if they put this in on my channel?
I don't know. I've never done this before.
I don't think it's going to collect. Maybe it will.
It
You know
says,
what? Because
it says Team EVERCADIANS EVERCADIANS Episode One live stream.
Brad, how are
think any
you
of the ones
chatting
that
as
are out
me
there-
on my channel? I think you're logged into my YouTube
No,
channel.
Yeah, you are.
no, we do all of. No, I'm logged into all 4
Oh, okay.
because it's one stream, so it'll collect from all of them.
Yeah, I can never get into an issue with Brad now. You can delete my whole
I
channel.
know. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You're safe, Brooklyn. You're safe.
See my family there in the chat. Another brand new Evercade owner. He's just waiting. He ordered the EXPR and the
We're
VSR.
sealed. Good luck, gamers. Hashtag Papa Brad. And you will just we went full. Papa Brad went all out. I even made a
Nix is not even trying to win.
no. Let's see.
He
here.
does not want to start a new addiction.
No. If you do win, email Papa Brad at evercadians@gmail.com. And
So we are clear. Richard Deli got a space.
gotta have a
I
space.
think after the
Papa
hashtag.
space Brad.
So re-enter it in without space.
Yeah.
So is it populating from all the channels since all the chats are going through one
It
StreamYard?
should be, yeah. It should
All
be.
right. You'll probably know if you see
It
how
should
many
be.
people are entering.
Yeah. Well, we should see quite a few. Let me. Oh, actually, I can look at the tool, can I? Hold on a second. Brooklyn Menace. Maybe I can. Can I share the screen? Let me see. I think I can share the screen. Let
Yeah,
me
you can
see.
share it.
And then I do this. See, did
Or
it come up?
collecting comments.
Okay. So I have the tool open. Start collecting comments.
Yeah, let's see how many it starts to collect.
Okay, so it
Yeah, I
says
think
we
we're
have.
good.
Yeah, I think it's all connected. We have 14 people that have entered.
Awesome.
So it's actually collecting them from no matter where you're watching from. So we got 14 entries. You have a 1 in 14 chance of winning Indie Heroes number 2. And just email me and I'll get your address and I'll ship it out.
You know what? If you win it and you don't have an Evercade and you want a really good entry point, grab yourself a Super Pocket.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the Super Pocket's great, man. It's basically a consoleized Evercade for what, about $60?
I have the limited
Sweet.
edition pack and I don't want to
Mhm.
open that. So I just grabbed the title one that I don't care about, taking with me.
Yeah, I love
And-
it. Like, I mean, I've been playing that way a lot because it's so portable. You can just throw a couple cartridges with you, and you got lots of gaming to go.
Right. I found the
Take it
best
to
way
go.
for me to play it. I keep my contacts on and then I put my glasses on over my contacts, but only stare at the screen. And it's crystal clear.
Yeah, the screen is sharp.
It's very sharp. I didn't realize it was that
I
sharp.
was
Just
surprised.
looking
You
at it
can
with my
even
contacts.
you can even play like Cathedral. Like there's a firmware update you can do to it.
Yeah.
And you can play all the games.
Yeah, I
Pretty
updated
cool.
mine
I was
right
playing
out of the box.
Cathedral.
When you do update it, it sometimes will take like 3 or 4 times before
Yeah,
it
it's
kicks
kind of hit and
in.
miss until it
Yeah,
hits.
it's very hit and
I-
miss.
I figured out why though, because if
Mm.
you have that iArcade mod on the PC, it
There's
detects
other
that rock.
firmwares you've pushed. Yeah.
So you have to. I had to do it on my wife's computer, and it worked fine. That's why
Yeah.
it wouldn't work.
Because we're all hackers. We know we all love to hack stuff. All of our stuff's hacked. Yar! Bunch of pirates. Okay, so let's do it, man. We got 15 people ready to roll. I'm gonna leave it up so we can
Roll
see
it,
it's
Brad.
fair. Here we go. Good luck,
See who gets
gamers.
it.
The winner is.
Papa Brad.
How
better
am
not.
I
Oh,
in
then
there?
we'll roll again because I typed in Papa Brad. Hashtag Papa Brad. My family.
Oh,
family.
perfect, man. Like I said, brand new Evercade owner. He has
owner.
both
Just got an
coming
Evercade.
next month, and now he
That's
has
awesome.
one more game to add to the collection.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
I was sending him recommendations, and he was just like, "Got it."
Okay,
So
well,
he's gonna be ready to go.
Absolutely. You're going to be getting a brand new copy of Indie Heroes 2. Put that to the side.
Nice.
Okay. And our next topic is recommend a game. Is the next topic. Recommend an Evercade game. You have to tell the game, but you also have to tell what cartridge it's on. So you need to tell the game and what cartridge you would have to play the game. Okay. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay. Make it full screen. Hold on.
There's so many I could pick, Brad, but
no,
I'm just going to throw this out there. First
pick
ever Evercade cartridge that was a single game, cartridge number 32. Right here, we got Full Void. This is the limited edition version.
Wow.
This one's a little hard to find right now. This one, they did the cartridge in blue. It came with a full color book.
Is that the first
the
single game cartridge?
This is the first ever single game on an Evercade cartridge.
Wow.
First time
So
they
it's
ever
not a
tried it.
compilation.
I think it was a success. The game does not take that long to beat. You'll get stuck figuring some stuff out, but I blew through it in one night in 2 sittings. But the thing is I enjoyed every moment of it. They did a really good job on this game, and I recommend people picking up that cartridge. You could get the standard edition.
Yeah.
Now easily available.
Yeah, I would get
It's a
the
good
standard
time.
edition.
Couple of hours. You
That's
may even
probably-
want to go
that's
through it a
probably
second
super
time because
that's
there's
probably a very collectible game now. So they
there's-
do have the standard edition. It's like
there's
18
little
bucks
Easter
in
eggs
Canada.
in the game, and at the end it lets you know the ones that you found.
Mhm.
So it kind of makes you want to go back and find the stuff again.
Okay. How about Herb Wars? What's a game you'd recommend in the cartridge that you'd have to have?
So I'm recommending off of Pico Collection 1, number 9, Water Margarine. It is a beat 'em up game, kind of like Golden Axe. It's like an older, like 90s game that was actually never released until I think 2015. It wasn't originally released on Sega, and it has some cool power-ups and really cool music. And it's not a very long game, and especially if you're using, like if you have kids and you're busy and you need to use the save state feature on the Evercade, you'll blow through it in no time.
Okay. Awesome. So what's the name of the game again? I'm sorry.
Water Margarine. I believe it might be on Act Games as well. I'm not sure though.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, there's 2 beat 'em ups on that cartridge.
Okay. And y'all know what I'm gonna pick. Y'all know because I already put a video.
Does it start with a T?
It starts with a T. Of course, I'm gonna pick. Look at that. TH Thunder Hoop 2.
Oh, all
TH
right.
It's back. Did yours come with a cool card like this? I got cards in with my cartridge.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
come with.
I was
Sometimes the
surprised.
cartridges
I
come with
opened
a
up the
bunch of
box.
goodies.
There's
You
like
get stickers.
there were goodies inside of here.
I opened one the other day, had playing
it's like
cards
a little
inside.
cardboard poster for Thunder Hoop 2. This is like one of my favorite. Like this is as far as hidden gems. This is a game like it's just so cool. You can't imagine until you've played it. I mean, you have fireballs shooting out of your hands.
Great game.
It's a great game.
It is a good game.
I do have a video on the EverCadians channel. This was probably one of the first produced videos I did because I love this game. But this is on Galeco Arcade 2. And they have Thunderhoop 1 and 2. I never played Thunderhoop 1. But I'm going to recommend Thunderhoop 2 for my first game. Of course, it's an arcade game, and I think it's a masterpiece. So if you haven't checked it out, that would be my recommendation of an Evercade game to check out. Okay. So that was pretty much a show. What's everyone good? I'd like to thank everyone for watching. What does everyone have going on? Erbwars, do you have anything special that you're doing right now on YouTube or?
No, man. I just like to watch everybody and support all the channels and all the tournaments. That's what I'm really into. Is I'm really into watching everybody's tournaments and doing my best to participate in all of them. But there are a lot out there.
Yeah, well, I'm doing a lot of pinball tournaments, so you're always welcome to play in those. And if you're not subscribed, tell them about your channel. Erbwars. I think a lot of people might not know, but you do a lot of really cool retro gaming content.
Yeah, I'm like a collector enthusiast, just mess around on games. And like I said, I don't really do very well produced videos. I'm just a guy that sits in front of the camera and talks about games.
I love your videos. Don't sell yourself short. You're great. So that's Erbwars on YouTube. Brooklyn Menace. Want to say
I do the Friday night arcade show every Friday. I decide to do it 10:45 p.m. But next Friday is definitely going to be something completely different. I may actually start the show earlier. It is going to be together, all in the same room. It will be myself, Kev Gret from the Rexer Show, Ichabod Crane, and pretty much confirmed as of today. I was chatting with him. Glenn from GRS, Glenn's Retro Show, all together, chilling out in the same room doing the Friday night arcade show. Next Friday. Look forward to that.
Yeah, it's
and I look forward to doing a bunch of live streams.
Oh yeah,
from Too Many Games. We'll be there for 3 days. Yeah, but I look forward to hanging out with those guys, and we will have an iArcade in the hotel room, so we will be able to game on the show that night.
That is awesome.
We're coming prepared. Ichabod's bringing the iArcade. I'm bringing the case of beer.
There you go. You got the beer and you got games. Of course, I'm Papa Brad. I have multiple channels. Papa Brad's Gaming, Papa Brad Live. I'm on a show called Arcade Talk on the Arcade Talk channel. Running some pinball tournaments. Right now, we're running 2 different pinballs. We're running
South Park is one of them.
South Park, and we're running Wipeout on the At Games. So come join our tournaments, Arcade Talk pinball tournaments. And I just want to thank everyone we made it. We made it through our first show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And I'm going to send us out with our music. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone that showed up to watch the first episode. Make sure to subscribe to Evercadians. It's just Evercadians. Subscribe to the channel. Eventually, this show will be exclusive on there. First couple, we probably will do these multi-channel streams just to bring some, more eyes to the show. Yeah, but eventually it will be all exclusive on Evercadian's channel.
Yeah, just so more people get to see it. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
Dude, I'm ready to play some Evercade.
I know. Let's go.
Sure.
This is Papa Brad. Welcome to the Evercadians, a show for fans of the Evercade.
Brad, man, since we were last on the show, you are now a proud owner of an Evercade VS Founders Edition.
I know. I'm an Evercadian now.
Wow. Welcome to the club.
Man, I'm loving it.